Headlines is presented by Calvo's Insurance, a legacy of trust, serving Micronesia since 1938. Matson celebrating 25 years of commitment to Guam, Micronesia, and the CNMI. Cars Plus, home of Guam's first and only lifetime powertrain warranty. Visit carsplusguam.com for details. McDonald's of Guam, I'm loving it, and King's Restaurant, serving your local breakfast, lunch, and dinner favorites for over 45 years.
Starting now on Primetime, along with new details in the officer-involved shooting, the victim has been identified as 49-year-old Falier Fabian. Isaiah Uggan has that story. Also, the sponsor behind the bill that would finance a billion-dollar medical center of excellence sets it aside, and a proclamation was signed launching the 2021 Relay for Life activity.
Half a day and good evening. I'm Tyler Matsinani. The man who died in the officer-involved shooting incident Wednesday in Tamuning has been identified as 49-year-old Falier Fabian, but the Office of the Attorney General has released new details regarding the incident. KUAM's Isaiah Uggan has this report.
As the case unfolds, the Independent Investigative Team, or IIT, formed to investigate Wednesday's officer-involved shooting in Tamuning that left 49-year-old Falier Fabian dead, has released new details. According to a release, a knife was confiscated at the scene of the incident and the off-duty officer fired a single gunshot. Additionally, the Office of the Attorney General clarified that an employee who is the spouse of the officer involved in the incident does not work in the prosecution division, the division charged with conducting the investigation, or with any members of the IIT. As is the practice whenever an OAG employee has a conflict of interest in a matter of being handled by the office, a conflict wall is created to limit the flow of information to and from conflicted employees. As we reported, Chief Prosecutor Basil Mallon said that they will be following the set of procedures for any homicide investigations, such as follow-up interviews, a forensic autopsy of the deceased, and ballistic examination of the firearm. KUAM News learned that the victim, Fabian, is a grandfather, father to 5 children, and a resident of Tamuning. According to Mayor Louise Rivera, that since the incident, she has reached out to the family to see if they need any assistance.
We here at the mayor's office, we know him. We know him to, always come around the area. He has also served his community service hours here with us, ordered by the courts. And, he also has registered to get food commodities. So, every time we're doing the distribution of food, he's around and he gets food to bring home to his family. He was a mellow person and he would approach us and ask us, like, how's everything? Are you okay? And, so it was, he would just tell us like, oh, I need to get fruits, or I need to find a job. But he was also happy taking care of his kids.
KUAM News spoke with his common-law, Lucia Setig, who said that there are plans to bury Fabian in Chuk. While the investigation is ongoing, the AG's office is still asking the community to come forward with any videos they may have, or if they were a witness to what happened. You can submit any videos or information available via email at info@oagguam.org or call 475-2580. Reporting for Guam's News Network, Guahusi Isaiah Uggan.
After being shut down for more than 2 months, the Jigo post office will reopen on Tuesday, July 6th. The U.S. Postal Service announced that the contract facility will resume its P.O. box and retail services under its previous hours of operation. In a statement, Guam Postmaster Tammy Shunin apologized and said, "We've been pushing hard to get the facility reopened because we understand how important the mail is to our customers." The post office previously said the Jigo and Dedito contract units were closed while they conduct an investigation. The news release made no mentions of the specific reasons for the shutdowns. The Dedito post office does, however, remain closed. Customers will continue to be served at the main Barragata post office. The Guam Supreme Court has upheld the governor's authority to implement quarantine under a public health emergency. In a significant determination, the High Court found that Section 19605 of the Emergency Health Powers Act is inorganic and void because it violates separation of powers doctrine by encroaching on the governor's Organic Act authority over quarantine under federal law. The lengthy 36-page decision also held that quarantine orders may be challenged on constitutional grounds. And if a challenged law or regulation is not neutral or generally applicable, it is subject to strict judicial scrutiny. The governor's office issued a statement late this afternoon calling the decision a, quote, hard-fought victory for the people of Guam. The governor went on to state that her quarantine policies, quote, have always been guided by science and my medical advisors. It is necessary to expand quarantine protocol. Again, the full scope of my authority and responsibility will be clearly understood. The Department of Public Health and Social Services has seen an increase of island residents testing positive for COVID-19 due to exposure of family members not vaccinated. KUAM's Isaiah Uggan has more.
A family of 3, including a 2-year-old, tested positive for COVID-19 on June 27th. The couple was fully vaccinated. Then Thursday, July 1st, another family of 4 were unvaccinated, tested positive for the virus, including another 2-year-old. Department of Public Health and Social Services Chief Public Health Officer Chima Mbakwum said seeing these 2 families testing positive for the virus is not concerning.
It's been pretty consistent seeing people that are unvaccinated, infecting people that live with them at home that are unvaccinated or are not at the age of vaccination.
If not careful, we may see an increase of more families testing positive because of exposure, according to Mbakwum.
Because you're going to see adults who infect kids. The kids do have very little social circle, right? Their lung capacities are too small to spread the virus. But you're seeing a situation where the adults who live in the same household with these kids, in the same proximity with them, living in that same concentric circle with them, are the ones who are going to infect the kids.
Mbakwum acknowledges that the most recent positive cases are from not vaccinated individuals, but the challenge is to get the eligible residents immunized against the virus, which is why they are expanding their vaccination efforts by providing educational material and more village-based clinics as well as pods. He says that they will see a decline of the positive cases once the department ensures everyone eligible for the vaccine gets it. Mbakwum encourages residents to get vaccinated for the safety of family members, the community, and themselves.
People should please go out to get vaccinated. We have the clinics out there. We have the pods going on. We're open to coming to them to get them vaccinated.
Reporting for Guam's News Network, Wahusi Isaiah Uggan.
The bill to finance a $1 billion medical center of excellence was abruptly set aside by its sponsor. After several days of debate, Senator Joe San Agustin said it became clear to him that there were opponents of the measure who were intent on quashing it.
Senator San Agustin, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I move that Bill 121-36 CR, as amended by the Committee on General Government Operation, Appropriation and Housing, with recommendation of this committee of the whole, be set aside.
San Agustin's bill identifies a financing plan for a sprawling medical campus to house not just a new hospital, but public health and behavioral health facilities. He says the experts tell him the time is right and interest rates are low.
I'm willing to pull the trigger. Gita it believes that with all the different bonds that we went through, we got the best interest we could have gotten, that we would probably never get tomorrow. And some of them were saying, well, I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. Nobody knows, but you got to have an educated guess and confidence in the system that we will have money. We'll get the best deal.
He says through the course of the discussion, though, it became clear to him that some were out to derail the measure.
Because there's 26 amendments. I didn't believe that. And it was like, oh, well, I just came up with something today. And I keep reminding them, this is a financing bill. This is not a procurement. Some of the amendments were, you're basically boxing in Gita. That's never the intent. When you want Gita to go out there and look for financing, you want to give them all the flexibility they can to get it. If the whole intent was to destroy the bill and not build a new GMH, a new public health and behavioral, don't say that that's your intent, but that's your hit. I mean, you and Esther and I know, we can see the writings on the wall.
San Agustin says he will reintroduce the bill, and after meeting with affected agencies, he will respond to every proposed amendment and move forward.
We need to build facilities for Guam and stop renting and stop putting a Band-Aid to the problems we have. I'm kind of surprised because everybody keeps saying, I want a new GMH. Then why are you stopping this bill?
The governor has also identified a new hospital as one of her priorities and has said she will set aside $300 million in American Rescue Plan funds as seed money. For Guam's News Network, I'm Nestor Lecanto.
The Guam Environmental Protection Agency is preparing to survey more than 50 wetlands on island. We met with Guam EPA's Nick Lee, who gave us the details. The Guam Environmental Protection Agency put out a request for proposal in April for the Guam 2021 National Wetland Condition Assessment. Guam EPA spokesman Nick Lee says the last time an analysis was conducted was 10 years ago.
It gives us an opportunity to assess the ecological condition of a type of body of water that we're trying to assess.
The evaluation will be part of the U.S. EPA's National Aquatic Resource Survey, and although Guam was not included in the last assessment, he says they're happy to be part of the national database this year. Biologists will take a look at the ecological conditions of about 55 different wetlands around the island.
To establish a baseline, essentially, and help us make decisions on best practices to preserve these fragile ecosystems.
Biologists will collect water and soil samples and take inventory on the plants and animals that are part of the ecosystem. Lee says that when the time comes to develop or assess any threat to the wetlands, EPA is able to look back and see the possible indicators to better understand the wetlands condition.
These are fragile environments. They support plants and animals that are on the Endangered Species Act. So it's very critical. They can help protect from strong tidal occurrences. They can filter water. So there's a lot of importance to protecting wetlands.
The project is still in the procurement process. Stick around for more news here on Primetime. You're watching KUAM.
Day. As we look ahead to a brighter tomorrow, Matson's commitment to Guam and Micronesia remains stronger than ever. While the world around us is ever changing, what remains unchanged is our commitment to you, our customers, and the island communities we serve. Shipping is what we do best, and serving our community is at the heart of everything we do. But we don't do it alone. This is why we support organizations that make caring for the people and the environment a top priority. We know that many count on Matson's lifeline services in the Pacific, and that's why we continue to work hard to ensure that our shipments remain on time all the time. Matson recently added another Aloha-class vessel to our schedule. We now have two of Matson's largest and fastest ships serving Guam from the U.S. West Coast and Hawaii. With our new state-of-the-art vessels, we stand ready to support the region's economic recovery. Thank you for the privilege of serving you for the last 25 years. And you can count on Matson to be here for the next 25 years and beyond.
KUAM News, in partnership with the Guam Visitors Bureau, brings you the Guam Safe and WTTC Safe Travel Certified Program Showcase. Look out for this powerful symbol for visitors, island residents, and industry workers alike, as it represents establishments with a consistent global commitment to safety practices. Stamped with approval by the Guam Visitors Bureau and the World Travel Tourism Council. Every Monday on KUAM News will feature a different local business who's taken the Safe Guam and Safe Travels pledge to maintain health and safety standards to get Guam back on track. Log on to visitguam.com to see how your business can receive the designation, what businesses in our community are Guam Safe certified, and have the WTTC Safe Travel certified.
While we've all been through a lot over the years, typhoons, earthquakes, and now COVID-19, we've been able to get through these together.
For more than 80 years,
Travel's Insurance has been protecting your homes, your businesses,
and the health of your family.
We are here today and we'll be here tomorrow.
There are better days ahead. Tomorrow's a new day filled with hope and choices.
The possibilities of what we can achieve together are limitless.
Let's continue to work together to ensure a brighter tomorrow for all of us.
It's a special delivery to your inbox every week with your KUAM News Roundup, program advisories, and promotions. Sign up for the weekly KUAM Digital Digest today on KUAM.com.
Welcome back. The private non-public charter school summer programs have been given the green light to continue their activities. It was earlier this week when a letter was sent out to the respective school from the Guam Department of Education warning of a cease and desist of the programs, as the schools were not complying and failed to turn in necessary documentation for Federal CARES Act and American Rescue Plan funding. Although, according to GDOE Federal Programs Administrator Ike Santos, all the private, public, and charter schools have complied and sent the forms in by Wednesday, June 30th. Santos has since introduced the schools to continue with their programs. Now GDOE can start the process to ensure summer school teachers are paid promptly. The Guam Department of Education records over 70% of school employees are fully vaccinated. As for the students, GDOE Superintendent John Fernandez says they are tracking those that are eligible, being between the ages of 12 to 19 years old.
While we don't have DOE-specific numbers, we're tracking the overall island numbers, and our projection is that we'll get about 60% of the 16 to 19-year-olds fully vaccinated by the beginning of the school year, and probably around between 35 to 40% on the 12 to 15-year-old side. So we won't quite be at that 80% mark for the kids, but we're getting there just because they started a little bit later.
Fernandez says GDOE and the Guam Education Board are not deciding whether a vaccine mandate for school employees and students will be enforced. He says that is a decision for public health to determine.
Discussion with them and to ensure that we understand what the findings and recommendations are and how that will impact the schools should those decisions be made and should a mandate be implemented.
Public health has yet to make a recommendation regarding the matter. The government should pay the cost of digging up ancient artifacts, not private home builders. That was the message from the governor's permitting czar in an op-ed piece in a local newspaper. And State Historic Preservation Officer Patrick Lujan doesn't disagree.
Permitting czar Carl Gutierrez's point is if the SHPO wants to know whatever ancient artifacts could be buried under a resident's private property, then the SHPO should shoulder the high cost of archaeological digs. Patrick Lujan says he's just waiting for an AG's opinion.
Still waiting for the official to drop. However, we're planning for a change of course on how we're going to do that.
And while he's expecting his office will now have to shoulder the cost of such archaeological work, he doesn't have either the resources or funding to do it.
Right now, we barely have the capacity to do our regular permitting reviews. It's really, really difficult, right?
Lujan says there needs to be a balance in fulfilling his mission and not holding back development of homes and buildings. He suggests the preservation laws need to be revisited.
It's leaning towards another legislative review with our laws and updating them for sure.
But in the meantime,
we're just going to have to adjust fire a little bit, and how that's going to look with the limited amount of resources that we have in-house. It's going to be daunting, but we're going to try and figure this out.
For Guam's News Network, I'm Nestor Lecanto.
This year, it's going to be a year-long celebration in Guam, but it's a lifelong mission. KUAM's Adriana Cotero takes us into the 2021 Relay for Life virtual proclamation signing with the Office of the Governor.
And BIBA 2021 Relay for Life.
BIBA! A virtual proclamation signing ceremony launched the 2021 Relay for Life Friday morning. Governor Lou Leon Guerrero and Lieutenant Governor Joshua Tenorio were joined by stakeholders and cancer survivors to kick off the annual celebration. American Cancer Society Guam lead volunteer Joe Rios.
We are all here because cancer doesn't stop. We are all here because COVID-19 cannot stop Relay for Life of Guam.
Every year, the community comes together to fight against cancer and raise awareness for the deadly disease. And Rios says this year that's not going to change despite the pandemic.
Over 16 million lives have been saved, including some nearest to our heart. Today, we have the opportunity to save more lives, to celebrate our survivors and caregivers who are the heart of Relay for Life. Because we are island strong, together we beat cancer.
Cancer survivor Dr. Annette David, who is the American Cancer Society Guam Advisory Council member, spoke on her personal experience fighting the disease.
And I speak to you now not in my role as a physician or even as an ACS board member, but I speak to you from the perspective of someone who was diagnosed with cancer last year. In March, I developed what I thought was a persistent pimple on my forehead and didn't really pay any attention to it except that it hung around and it seemed to be growing. And to my surprise, it turned out to be squamous skin cancer, which is rather nasty skin cancer because it tends to recur.
After 6 biopsies, Dr. David remains skin cancer free. And KUAM's very own Relay for Life volunteer and breast cancer survivor, Christy San Augustine, read the proclamation.
For over 35 years, the American Cancer Society's Relay for Life has brought communities together to honor and remember loved ones lost and to take action for life-saving change.
Together, we beat cancer. Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Adriana Cotero.
On July 10th, a survivor drive-in wave is scheduled to occur at Teason High from 2 to 5 p.m. And then in August, the Luminaria exhibit will take place with Luminaria sales ongoing. You can purchase a Luminaria online at relayforlife.org/GuamGU. If you were driving in Jigo, you may have seen a small group in neon shirts along the way. In our next story, we're speaking with a couple of members from the University of Guam's Guam Green Growth Corps. The Guam Green Growth Conservation Corps is an initiative under the University of Guam's Center for Island Sustainability. Members of the GGG took time out of their Friday to clean up the junk along Jigo's roads. But this was only the beginning. The team will carry out various beautification projects over the next 5 months and will range anywhere from cleanups to painting murals. Annie Dennis or Ed Daly explains.
We're going to be going through all the villages of Guam, so from the north to the south, and then should we finish within the 5 months, we'll move back again and work our way down from Jigo.
How do you guys feel when you see, these huge white goods just on the side of the road?
Well, first thing, it's really not messy to see that folks on our island is being the main reasons why trash is happening on the sides of the roads. But, we have to do our part, be agents of change, to set an example so that we can inspire other people.
Joey Certeza says that the older generations must have a sense of responsibility within themselves to take action in order to empower the next generation.
I'm not a father, but I have nieces and nephews. And, if they get to see me doing all this work, I hope that they can take appreciation and take acknowledgement to be conscious individuals for our island.
The team collected well over 15 bags of garbage and came across a wide array of white goods ranging from TVs to mattresses and even a washing machine. One thing to take away from these G's is that a small group can make a huge impact. And if there's one message to send to those cluttering the island, it's this.
Think about your grandkids. Think about your future, the future generations who have to call this place home. The fact that this entire island is home to a lot of people, if they could take it more personally and just feel a sense of responsibility to the island, and just not only just the island, but even our oceans.
I think Nihi said it best. What kind of ancestor do you want to be?
For more information on Guam Green Growth's upcoming events, search Guam Green Growth Center for Island Sustainability on the UOG website at uog.edu. Sports is next, and still to come, birthday shout-outs from the Cold Stone Creamery Birthday Club. Keep it here.
Your community calendar is brought to you by Taco Bell. Whether it's your first meal or your fourth meal, we've got you covered. Taco Bell, live Mas.
Summer is here, and at Cars Plus, we have the perfect Jeep for your summer adventures. Whether you're going off-road or just getting ready to hit the beach down south, make this the summer event you find your Jeep, like the 2021 Jeep Wrangler or the 2021 Jeep Gladiator, equipped with Guam's only lifetime powertrain warranty. Call us at 477-7807 or visit our website at carsplusguam.com to schedule a test drive today. Cars Plus, driven by you.
Mobile offers a new and convenient way to fuel your vehicle. Pay gas and go. No need to line up inside the store. Press preset. Enter whole dollar amount without decimals. Press Loyalty ID and enter your mobile number or insert Smiles card. Insert and remove payment card or tap contactless credit card. Begin fueling. And don't forget to grab your receipt. Pay gas and go. It's that easy.
KUAM Sports is brought to you by Docomo Pacific. Better together.
Dave Delgado here for KUAM Sports. Thanks for watching. Tonight on the show, we catch up with Notre Dame rugby player Michaela Toigui, who recently participated in a rugby camp held in Little Rock, Arkansas. Check it out. Notre Dame rugby player Michaela Toigui finished a 2-week residency at the American Rugby Pro Training Center in Little Rock, Arkansas. Michaela was one of 12 girls from across the nation who lived and trained together as a team.
I found ARPTC back in October, and I put in all my information, and I just hoped to get a call back, and I actually didn't till April. But through October to April, I just kept training as if it was already set in stone because I knew I really wanted to go there. But in the midst of all that, I was just applying because I knew I needed to do something. I knew this summer I had to do something, and I had to put myself out there even if I didn't know how to. I just kept on Googling.
The Googling and persistency paid off as Toigui was able to take advantage of the college scouting event. She was also able to network and speak to a few coaches who attended this year's event.
My head coach for the training center is also the head coach for Princeton. I got a really good relationship with her. Ivy League coaches and other universities with varsity rugby programs. I got to talk to all of them, and I got to become very familiar with them. They got to see me play, and I left Arkansas 3 days ago, and I've just been jumping on so many Zoom calls with these different coaches.
Michaela has spent over 2 years with Guam's Olympic weightlifting team. She wrestled for FD and was an all-island champion. She represented Guam on the U16 rugby team and received all-island honors for the 2020 high school season.
24/7, 4 trainings a day. Guam is hot, but Arkansas was hot too. We trained 4 times a day, and then to come back to our hotel and still have another session, which is recovery, because that's just as important as training. And it was all for the common goal of doing good at Falcon Sevens, which was the tournament we played at, and it paid off. We placed 3rd amongst 8 other teams that were from all over.
If you want to shine, you have to grind. Michaela knows if she wants to get to the next level, it's her dedication and commitment to working hard and putting in that work.
Will she run around? Not around Hattie. Nope, not around my.
Off season is the perfect time to try and find the weaknesses in your game. And that's exactly what I did during the pandemic. There's certain aspects in my performance that I knew needed polishing, and that's exactly what I focused on. And when I knew I was going to Arkansas, I just amped it all up. So my education is just as important as my passion for the sport, and they actually feed one another. When I work on one, it helps the other. So
Guam Football Association Technical Director Sang-Hoon Kim announced his selection of 30 players to the preliminary Guam national team domestic squad to train for the upcoming AFC Asian Cup China 2023 playoff round against Cambodia. The final selection of players, including players training and playing in leagues off island, will be made closer to match dates in September. Closed training sessions for the domestic squad have already begun and will run twice a week on the pitch and once a week in the gym. Of the 30 players, close to half had been training with the Guam U20 Manhoban squad or with their U.S. college teams. On June 24th, The Macau Guam national team learned of its next opponent, Cambodia, during the AFC Asian Cup China 2023 playoff round official draw held in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia.
Well, that's going to do it for sports. We're back right after this.
KUAM Sports is brought to you by Docomo Pacific. Better together.
For the different beats of your life, we're here to keep you connected the way you want it. Plans made for you, by you. Build your own bundle with Link. Select the internet, entertainment, mobile, and home phone plans that fit your lifestyle. Pay for what you want, not for what you don't. Build your own bundle and save with Link.
And before we close out our news tonight, our latest round of birthday shout-outs from the Cold Stone Creamery Birthday Club.
The first work week of July is now in the history books, and happy birthday to our ray of sunshine, Glenn Lujan. Hey, Glenn. Many blessings to you, our Nenny Poodles. Glenn, we hope you had a wonderful birthday, and congratulations on launching your podcast, Hafide Zul, right here on the KUAM Podcast Network. Great job, Glenn. And happy belated birthday wishes going out to Anthony Pangilinan, who was born on the 1st. Happy birthday to our handsome boy. We love you, Tata Amon and Nana Elaine. So Glenn and Anthony, have great Fridays, a fantastic island weekend, and happy birthday.
Remember, you can be part of the Cold Stone Creamery Birthday Club by registering online at KUAM.com. Please make sure to include with your photo your name and birth date. And it's that time of the week where we announce the winner of a yummy Cold Stone Creamery birthday cake.
Happy extended birthday to Joshua Kalumaya, who gets an extra birthday present this year. Josh was born on July the 1st, and he is the winner of a ice cream cake courtesy of Cold Stone Creamery. Joshua, happy extended birthday once again. We'll be in touch with you to let you know how you and your family can redeem your prize. Happy birthday once more.
That's going to do it for us.